And welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about chemical texture services. Permanent waves, soft curl perms, curl reformations, chemical relaxers. Okay, what are the chemicals involved? What's the process involved? You're looking at about 10 questions on the test in every state, Barber or Cosmetology. Permanent waves, chemical relaxers, soft curl perms, curl reformations. Not to get too far in depth on this because we don't have time in these short videos, okay? You will need to understand the chemicals used. The primary or most common chemical used in a permanent wave, a curl reformation, or a soft curl perm is called ammonium thioglycolate. That's a whole lot there, right? Ammonium thioglycolate. On the test, it is usually abbreviated as ATG, or sometimes as thio, Thio, and occasionally cold wave. Okay? Ammonium thioglycolate, ATG, thio, or cold wave. It is the same chemical. It is the principal chemical used in all permanent waves, all soft curl perms, all curl reformations. There will be a dozen questions about the pH of it. Now, earlier in these videos, I mentioned several times true acid waves. The pH of an ammonium thioglycolate wave is somewhere between 9.0 and 10.0. An ammonium thioglycolate wave, somewhere between 9 and 10. The pH of a true acid wave is 4.5 to 6.0. Unless you have one of the older Barber or Cosmetology books, in which case it says 4.5 to 7.0. That cannot be correct, because if you've studied the pH scale, you know it goes 0 to 14. 0 to 6.9 is acid. 7 is neutral. 7.1 to 14 is alkaline. A true acid wave cannot have a pH of 7 because 7 is neutral, in which case it wouldn't be acid. So truthfully, getting in the weeds here, the maximum is 4.5 to 6.9. The newer book says 4.5 to 6.0. The older Cosmetology book and the current Barber book say 4.5 to 7.0. It's wrong from a scientist's point of view, but it could be the correct answer on your test because we have no way to know which book the person who wrote your test was looking at. What you will not see is answer A saying 4.5 to 7.0, answer B saying 4.5 to 6.0. They're not going to do that. You're going to get one or the other, but you need to know both because you can fail your test by 1 point. They're also going to ask you about chemical hair relaxers. The most commonly used chemical in a chemical relaxer is sodium hydroxide. Now, be very careful here about sodium hydroxide and sodium hypochlorite. The two words sound somewhat similar and look somewhat similar on your state board exam test date when you're sitting in front of a computer screen. They have very little in common. Sodium hydroxide is the chief chemical used in a chemical hair relaxer. Sodium hypochlorite is Clorox bleach. The two have very little in common, except their names look suspiciously similar, and the state board exam does it on purpose. There's no other explanation for it. They'll either ask you about disinfectants, sodium hypochlorite, or chemical relaxers, usually sodium hydroxide. But interestingly enough, they'll have both choices as answers A and B, or B and C, or C and D. They're always side by side on the test. Sodium hydroxide, sodium hypochlorite. You need to understand that very simply. There will be questions about how many sections to divide the head into for different services. How far from the scalp do you apply it? Do you apply it to the top or the bottom and the top, or sideways, in which direction? All these questions that honestly we don't do much of either one of these two anymore. Way back in the day when I first went to school, we would do 3 or 4 perms or relaxers every single day. Okay, We hated it, but we knew that stuff. Now today, I know students go all through school, never even do it once. And they're completely shocked when they get to the test. So don't be that person. Don't be shocked. Pass your test. If you have taken your test numerous times, you realize that the test is never the same. I'm always amazed when students tell me, I failed my test by 2 points, I went back and took it and failed by 10 points, all the questions were different. Yes. Knowing last week's lottery numbers will not help you this week, because if it did, we'd all be rich. We wouldn't even be here, correct? We'd all win the lottery and be rich. Okay? Knowing what your friend was asked last week will not help you this week. Knowing what you were asked last month will not help you when you take your test next month. What will help you is our book. There's 600 or 700 questions in here. It's every question that was asked in your state in the last 12 months with the possible answer choices and the correct answer. And then below that, the page and the various textbooks where the question can be found. If you feel that you need more assistance than that book can give you, we do private duty tutoring. Okay, it's you and the instructor, so it's very private. Depending on what phone you have, it's either FaceTime or WhatsApp. Each session is 1 hour. There are 6 sessions. We will work with you to schedule your sessions. I recommend, if possible, leaving a day or 2 or 3 between classes. Now, some people call us their test is in 7 days. They got to do them 6 days in a row. If you have to, you have to. If you don't have to, I recommend spacing them out a little bit, because we're going to go through page by page in your textbook, and you can highlight or underline everything we tell you. And I think you need a day or 2 to digest all that before the next class comes, so you get the maximum benefit. Our pass rate, I would like to say, is 100%. It's not. It's like 99%. Okay? We have had a few people fail the test, but you know, a 99% pass rate is way better than the current pass rate of 30 or 50% nationwide. So give us a call, 760-534-4434. Visit our website to order a book, or give us a call to order it. It's the same price either way. Our website, www.cosmetologystateboardexam.com, and when you're there, make sure you take the free practice test at the top of the page. They're free, and they're current test questions. And when you hit the last question, it gives you your score instantly. And then it goes to your email and shows you the actual breakdown of each question, so you'll know exactly which questions you missed and which you got correct. Give us a call, 760-534-4434. Thank you.